I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We welcome Edna Aliana. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, I am Edna Aliana. I am a kind of newish VTuber, I would say. I've been around for a little more than a year, and I'm actually someone with I've had a lack of direction in the past, and VTubing has been about finding myself and finding my direction, which I plan on, announcing the people at my 3.0 debut.
Yes, we talked about it before we come on the air. Is this the 3.0 debut is in the future, and that's all we're going to say.
Yeah, that works.
Wait, it's a cliffhanger.
There's a lot of secrets.
Yes.
Some secrets
Yeah.
with it. I don't want to reveal the design yet because I thought it would be fun to do that on stream.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to have that kind of debut.
Yeah. So that's coming up in the future. We're going to have all the links that you can follow Edna and stuff in the future. But I want to know how you got started in VTubing and why.
My story, I feel, is somewhat unique because I was very much not somebody who knew much about VTubing. I got into VTubing because my boyfriend was into it, and he kind of introduced me to things, and I wanted to take an interest in his hobby, and I wanted to impress him. So I made a VTuber model to try to impress him.
And
Once I had it, yeah, and then once I had it, he was like, well, now you have to stream with it, and that's how I got started.
did it kind of catch you right away when you started it, or was it something you enjoyed right away?
Wait, something that I enjoyed, or
Yeah.
what did you mean by catch? I'm sorry.
Did you enjoy streaming right away when you first got into it?
Yeah. It was difficult, but I still enjoyed it. I think it was an enjoying process, but it was also a little nerve-wracking. I didn't quite know what I was doing. Entertaining somebody when there's only a few people there is a little scary and difficult. You don't know what to do, but I think it's worth learning.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Were you somebody who had done entertaining before in any way?
Not for the most part. I don't think so. Only like a little bit of maybe drama in school or something. I usually was kind of a bit shy growing up.
Yeah. Since you've been streaming, have you kind of noticed that shy bit going away a little bit?
Yeah, I've definitely opened up a lot more, although I'm still shy in unfamiliar environments. So I try to scope things out first before I throw myself into them.
Yeah. Well, that's just common sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause, you just never know what you're getting yourself into these days, unfortunately. Well, but
That's true.
once you got in and you started having people that were coming in to see what you're doing, to chat with you, and it started getting a few more people. How did that affect you as far as going on? Did it make you want to do more, or did it kind of shy you away a little bit?
It definitely made me want to do more at first. Like the first people that came in, I was like excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm meeting people. I'm talking to them. Sometimes I'm playing games with them. And it was really, really fun. But it got to the point where I didn't know what boundaries or rules I was supposed to have. So once people started coming in that might cross those rules, it got difficult. And I had to take a step back to kind of reevaluate what I want to be as a streamer and how I want to interact around other people.
Well,
So it's been kind of like getting back into things.
yeah. Well, I can imagine that. I mean, you didn't come in with any expectations, really, or
That's true.
you didn't have the book learning to get into it. You just came in and did it, and you kind of had to find out by having your hand in the fire that it was hot sometimes, and learn from there. But it certainly, obviously, it didn't scare you away from streaming.
Not entirely. I took a little bit of a break where I was nervous because I wasn't sure if I could handle situations entirely maturely.
Hmm.
And I really wanted to make sure that everyone around me was comfortable and I kept people around that also made other people comfortable.
Hmm.
And I was scared I wasn't the person to do that. So I took a step back and I waited and I took care of my own mental health. And then I've kind of been emerging back in recently after that,
Mm.
kind of like step back. And it's been a lot better since then.
That's cool. And you mentioned before you kind of still finding yourself in a way going into this. Um, have you found out some different things about Edna that you didn't know about before since you started streaming?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing I found out since I started streaming is how much I actually do love social connection
Hmm.
and just like being there, talking to people, meeting new people.
Hmm.
I didn't like that as much growing up. I was quite the loner. I just stuck to my small group of friends. And even then, there were times when I would avoid my own friends because I felt like I just wasn't in a good spot to like give them my all.
Mm.
And it was scary and lonely growing up. But since then, I've gotten some like professional help that's
Mm.
really like done wonders for me.
Hmm.
And since then, I've really opened up to people, and VTubing has 100% helped me with that.
That's cool. I mean, and everybody should get help if they need it. It's sometimes it's tough to admit to yourself that you need to get it. Um, we,
Absolutely.
I mean, was it easy for you to seek that help?
I would say it was easy at first when I had a guiding hand, but
Hmm.
there was a point in time when I was more on my own
Hmm.
and it became harder to keep up with things and continue seeking help.
Hmm.
But I've kind of gotten back into stuff and adjusted and now it's been well worth it. I'll say that.
Oh yeah. I mean, even old men like me do it. So it's maybe it's something that you need and you don't need it for a while, but sometimes it lasts and it's just easy to. It's just good to find somebody who can help you out. That's what they're there for. Um,
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
and take advantage of it when you can. Um, do you do you feel that since you came in without any real set goal or anything, how do you feel about your progress so far?
Uh, I'm really happy about my progress, but I think maybe not setting a goal really kind of helped me with that. I have goals now,
Hmm.
but at the beginning, it didn't really matter to me what I achieved. It mattered more like that I was having fun
Hmm.
and that I got to like learn and be a part of this hobby.
Hmm.
Because I mean, I did get into it just to like kind of like and well, I just wanted to like do something my boyfriend did, get into something my boyfriend did,
Hmm.
and I ended up just like really, really loving it.
Hmm. It's
He's
it.
a big, big supporter in all of it too.
That's good. That's good. And you kind of make it your own, haven't you? I mean, you came in because you wanted to express somebody else, but now it's yours.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a little bit like, and I've been a little nervous making it my own because there's a lot of rules and expectations in VTubing,
Hmm.
and you'll notice if you go on my Twitch that my rules may look very different from other VTubers' rules.
Hmm.
And oftentimes, because my boundaries are different, I'm can be an introduction to people who may not like really watch VTubers.
Hmm.
So they'll come in and they'll be like, "What's a VTuber?" And that's something that's really fun to engage with. But then I have to kind of explain a little bit about some etiquette they might run into if they go and they watch other VTubers who might have stricter rules.
Hmm.
And I try to like express how much you should respect those rules because being an outsider of the VTuber community has taught me a lot about how difficult it can be to become an insider and learn about everything that's going on.
Oh
And
yeah.
some of that might be because I'm autistic, so social rules are a little tricky for me.
No, it can be. Yeah. Yeah. And you have your own rules. I mean, you have your own segment, and while I imagine you've got a situation where you've got your boundaries, and you find out other people's boundaries, do you compare them and wonder if you should have the same boundaries?
Oh, absolutely all the time. I had basically, I don't think I even wrote down rules when I first started, or maybe I put something that was like, "Don't be mean." I don't know, but it was a while ago, a year ago.
Yeah.
But I've looked at other people's rules. I've just like scouted VTubers' rules and been like, "Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna grab that one. Let's do that one."
Yes. Yes.
S-
Those,
Some of them I might change in the future
yeah. Well,
too.
Well, I mean, it's you've still got to be comfortable with it, and the center is still you. Even though you want to have a comfortable audience, if you're not comfortable discussing a certain topic or using a particular language, and somebody comes in and starts, spamming the whole thing with that language, you've got to put your foot down.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll be like a gentle guide. I'm very gentle with people. I'll be like, "Oh, hey, I just have this rule here. We don't do that often, and I usually won't like do any kind of penalty, like any kind of mute or anything like that when
Mm-hmm.
it's their first time, because I know that starting to watch a streamer and chat in a chat can be such a big thing as a viewer and as a fan
Mm-hmm.
that I don't want to like scare them off immediately by just being like the scary streamer.
Yeah,
But some people have to be the scary streamer, and I get that.
yeah. Well, sooner or later, the walls have to be solid.
Yeah,
If you let one person go through, then everybody's coming through. Um,
absolutely. I've had friends who have been wanting to like get exceptions to the rules, and I'm like, okay, but if you get the exception and then somebody else comes along and they're like, oh, look, that person's doing it. Can I have an exception? And then, it keeps happening. And then we can't have that.
yeah, absolutely. They have to. It's your world, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I really enjoy about when talking to people is that they get to set up their own backstory, their own circumstance, and their own who they are coming in. Was that easy for you to do, coming in from, well, almost blind to those sort of things? Was it easy for you to set that up?
Oh goodness, it was not easy at all.
Mm.
I had no idea how to write VTuber lore. I didn't even know much about like VTuber lore or how to do a debut. I was so scuffed. I just threw stuff together last minute, but I think it was fun despite that.
Yeah, and it all came together,
Fear.
obviously. Yeah, I mean, you get to be, it kind of forces you to be creative in a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Would you say that you're a creative person outside of VTubing?
I would say, yeah, I would say, I consider myself a very creative person. I'm very much into like doing all kinds of art and illustration and
Mm.
such. I actually did custom vinyl stickers
Ooh.
before I got into VTubing.
Mm.
That was more my interest then.
Mm. So do you do art streams?
I have done some art streams. It's been kind of like difficult for me because the tracking on the model can annoy me when I'm doing art streams. It tracks the top of my head,
Yeah,
but I've been finding ways around it.
yeah. I could just see how that would be annoying to be working, then to see that just one thing is wrong on the screen. And
Yeah,
artists are perfectionists.
absolutely. Yeah.
You're never quite done with it. So when did you get started with art and drawing and such?
Oh my goodness. Probably when I was like a toddler.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is gonna seem silly,
No.
but when I was a toddler, my parents were really big on just making sure we were always engaging in like some sort of like fun activity that would teach us something new.
Mm-hmm.
So there was an art book, and it was an art book for like young people.
Mhm.
And my mom showed it to me, and we started drawing like these circle cats, these little blob cats.
Yeah.
And there were all these little blob animals in the books, and it just got me so interested in drawing that all the time at school I'd be drawing my little blob cats. And then it wasn't until I entered the warrior cats community, though, that I decided that I was gonna actually pursue art.
Mm.
I saw all the beautiful artworks that Warrior Cats fans would post on
Yeah.
Warriors Amino.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was so cool. I just really, really wanted to be like them. So I was like, I'm gonna pursue this. I'm gonna draw really cool cats.
Yeah. And did you learn on your own? Did you take courses or?
I learned mostly on my own, but I've taken like an art class here and there, and I did have I actually had a teacher who taught me some painting stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's applicable to a lot more than just painting.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been a big inspiration to me. She's been amazing.
Did the art classes? Some people who take those art classes have, and of course it depends on where, and when. Sometimes it does help them. Sometimes they think it hurts them because they kind of, they first thing the arts instructor does is tell you that you're wrong. Instead of trying to develop you, they try to break you down. Did you have that happen?
I've never had that happen with an art class, but I've only done like some high school classes and
Mm,
then maybe just one high school class and then like independent classes with this one teacher. It's
mm,
very much been self-guided
mm,
aside from that.
Yeah, it's a big difference in atmosphere in some places, but with that you get to learn the basics, and then you're kind of retro learning in a way, aren't you?
Retro learning?
Yeah, where
How would you
well, because you're already an artist, whatever you're doing, and then you go into a class and they're kind of trying to teach you some basics that to attach to what you're already doing.
Mhm.
You're learning
Yeah, that's
chapter
actually
one. You're already on chapter four.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. I think like because a lot of times I went in and I just drew what I wanted to draw, and then I'd go to some sort of structured learning, or I'd find a YouTube tutorial with some structured learning,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be stuff that I've just never really like learned about, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe I kind of see other artists doing it, and I'm like, oh, and it just hits me like, why have I never done that before? And then I get a little upgrade in my art.
Yes, yes. It's like joining a book in chapter four and enjoying the book, and then somebody says, "Oh, by the way, this would happen in chapter one." Well, that makes sense. That jump right into it. But it obviously you were enjoying it no matter what.
Absolutely, yeah. I art is kind of my therapy. It's always what keeps me going when I'm at my lowest, I
Mm.
think.
So, what do you like to uh, what do you like to art? That's not a sentence, but what 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 are you arting? Which is also isn't a sentence.
I've gone through so many phases, but recently it's been a lot of like anime, like VTuber art, especially fan art of VTubers. I
Mm-hmm.
like to draw Hollywood fan art a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
it's very fertile ground to do that sort of thing.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's also like fun because you get to connect with like all kinds of fandoms
Mm-hmm.
and people who are fans of the same VTubers you're fans of.
Yeah.
I just love fan culture. Fandom is cool.
Yeah. So, what about your model? Did you put yours together, or did you come up with one?
Yeah, I did everything from the ground up for
Oh.
my model. So I did that's why I like don't find it entirely disrespectful for me to do it like a 3.0 thing. I
Mm-hmm.
know some people have like there's been some controversy around 3.0 models, I think. I don't have a strong opinion on it, but it's just that like people say it's like disrespectful to say that the new art is like better.
Mm.
But I did all the art myself, and I
Yeah.
want to show off my art and be like, "Hey, my art got better."
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, important to me. But I was already an artist before VTubing,
Mm-hmm.
but I went on and I learned rigging just so I could make a VTuber model,
Yeah.
and that was something I did from the ground up. Well, I watched YouTube tutorials that
Yeah.
helped.
Well, so tell me, just straight up, how tough is it to go from square one to having a model rigged and ready to go?
Uh, I find it's a big time investment. I found it relaxing and fun learning, so
Mm-hmm.
I was really excited about the whole thing. I had a real drive behind me,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it made it a little easier because of that, but that doesn't change the fact that there were so many challenges learning a whole new program like that, especially when I've never rigged anything before in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of was like, I would open the program, I'd follow the tutorial, and then something would happen that didn't happen when the other person did it, and I would get so confused. I just want to give up, but I pushed through.
Yeah. Well, that's with any program. Sometimes
Makes sense.
it just happens. Like I use Audacity for the audio for these interviews, and sometimes it just does its own thing. And what are you gonna do?
Oh no,
it just it
troubles and programs.
absolutely. The so with this, it's would you say art is kind of a escape for you, or is it a comfort for you, or what?
I would say both of those. It can be an escape, it can be a comfort, but it can also bring me to people and it can help me forge connections.
Mm,
And I find that that's really fun too.
mm,
Because I've had people that it started where somebody's like, "Oh, hey, I need this art done." And then somebody will be like, "Well, I know an artist," and they drag me into a call, and then suddenly I'm doing art for them, and then I make friends. And
yeah.
I definitely think that it can be awkward, like just like DMing people sometimes and being like, "Oh, hey, do you want art to make friends?" Like that's not something I'm interested in doing. But when it happens naturally, that's really cool.
Will you would you take commissions?
I have in the past. I have one commission that I'm working on right now, and then anything else is just because I wanted to draw it.
Yeah.
I don't want to take on too much stress, especially when I'm trying to like work on my 3.0 stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always wonder about that because to me, it would be very tough if I was inclined to be an artist, which I am definitely not, not even close. That if somebody gave me an order to do something, and it would be tough for me to do because I would have to be considering of what they want rather than what I want.
It can be really difficult. I find if I'm friends with the person, I will drag them onto a call and I'll be like, well, if they're interested, I'll bring them on call and we'll do it, some of it live,
Mm-hmm.
so that they can be like an immediate part of the process. That way I don't have to do as much like back and forthing between DMs
Mm-hmm.
because that can make the process a lot longer than it has to be sometimes.
Mm. Yeah, it does, and I don't think I'd have the patience for that.
It
To do
takes a
that.
lot of patience.
It must take a lot of patience for both
That's
you
why I've
and
been. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean really, it just because you got your vision, but you have to go to their vision, and maybe you've got something that
That's something.
this looks really good, and they're like, no, I want to do something else.
It's something I've been weaning off of because I've just like I feel like I'm not the best person to be taking commissions because I'm very slow at doing art and I just want to draw what I want to draw.
Mm, yeah, with that, did you ever have a problem showing art to other people? And it's one thing of drawing and one thing of putting together a piece of art, but then showing other people what you did. That takes a sometimes that's a mountain for people. Was that ever a problem for you?
I don't think it ever has been a problem, but I think it's just because I've gotten incredibly lucky to just have like really awesome supportive people around me who are like they want to see the art and they want to congratulate my improvement and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, it's more of a problem getting like critiques sometimes. Like somebody will tell it how it is.
Oh, yeah. Just sometimes it can get a little biting when doing that.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah. So, now, truthful, straight up, has anybody ever criticized something you've done and it really got you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm.
Usually not my art, but there have been times it's been my art. I'm at the point where if somebody is about to give me constructive criticism, I will tell them I'll take the criticism, but please do sunshine and fluffy rainbow criticism. Fluff it up a little for me.
I appreciate that a lot. Absolutely appreciate that. Yeah, the you can criticize somebody, but do it with kid gloves. Don't come in with a you know jackhammer. Do something that'll lift you up. When you see when you're online and you're playing a game or something, does the artwork does the artwork make a difference as far as whether or not you're enjoying a game or not?
Like my model on the screen?
Yeah. No, I mean like on if you're playing a game online.
Oh, the artwork in the game itself.
Yeah.
I would say it does make a slight difference, but I'm more interested in just like how fun I'm having during the game.
Mm.
I like a lot of games that are like better optimized and the kinds that you can play and have fun with friends. Then I really like the ones that are like pretty with a story, but there's not much like multiplayer
Mm-hmm.
options.
Yeah. Yeah. If you saw a game that was good on the story but not so good on the art, maybe it was like a basic pixel type art, would you still be enjoying it as much as if it was like a full really well done artwork?
100%. I feel like when somebody puts so much time and effort or a team puts so much time and effort into a game, I think regardless of like what aesthetically what it looks like, there's still that like a meaning behind the art, and that makes it like special to look at, and it gives it a kind of charm.
Yeah, yeah. There's some of the games that like a Stardew Valley wouldn't look quite right in a drawn like an anime.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I see
Yeah,
what you mean.
yeah.
I like Stardew Valley how it is.
Oh, believe me, I've got 30 save files of Stardew Valley.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I have to stay away from it.
Love the farms.
Is that's if there was a comfort game, that would be it for me. Do you have a comfort game of your own?
Do I have a comfort game? Hmm. I feel like art is more my comfort than games, but if I did pick a comfort game, it'd probably be either Celeste or Hue. I've been stuck on Hue. It's been less comforting, so probably Celeste.
I'm stuck on this one, so I'm getting a briar under the seat for that one. I'm going with what I enjoy.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Portal. I forgot about Portal might be up there too.
Oh.
I won't stream Portal
Yeah.
or anything Portal until I've already played it through a couple times because I don't want anyone to ruin the experience for me.
Oh, that's brilliant, though. I mean, I like that idea. Not everything has to be on stream that you play. You still get to enjoy yourself with some things.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to show all your cards every time.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and you get to enjoy in the meantime. Have you ever had a situation where you've gotten into a game online and you didn't enjoy it?
Didn't enjoy it. Oh no, so many times, and for no particular reason. There are great games out there that I have like really enjoyed, or sorry, not really enjoyed, and other people have enjoyed them, but I just like couldn't have the connection in it that really makes me want to play it.
Yeah, well, that happens. That happens. I mean, you don't. Just because other people enjoy things doesn't mean you're going to enjoy it, and maybe it's just not for you. I mean, if you were to do a kind of a general description of games that you enjoy, what would it be?
I like games where I can just put like a little bit of time into it here and there and feel like I'm still enjoying it. So like Portal I really like because there's levels after level and I can just stop and resume and play more levels. But if it's a game where I don't have a save point for a while or I have to save in between the story, like in between like a level, I don't enjoy that as much because it's like too much for me to do at once.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you wouldn't have liked the old NES games.
Oh, probably not.
Because you didn't have any save files for those. A lot of those, like.
Oh wait. Like like Super Nintendo?
Yeah. Well, the older ones, the original things like the original Super Mario Brothers and that type of thing. We didn't have any save files. We just.
I know I have a hate relationship with the Lion King game on Super Nintendo.
Hate. How does that happen?
I can't get past like the first. Oh, sometimes the first, but definitely not the second level. I'm very bad at games.
It just that particular one just is not going to click. Just no matter what you do.
Absolutely, it's like I call myself a game enjoyer, not a gamer, because I just enjoy a game here and there, especially like some that I stream.
Yeah.
But I'm not really putting a lot of time into gaming, so I don't consider myself as much of a gamer.
It's not so much as if you're enjoying it. That's the thing. If you're on and you're enjoying a game, then the people who are going along with you are also going to know that, and they're gonna feel that enjoyment too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. If you're on a game that you absolutely hate, maybe they'll have fun. Watching you, have trouble with the first time around, but don't go back to it. Don't do a part two.
I have a few viewers that would watch me suffer through a game.
So, what about horror games?
Oh no. Sometimes. If they're goofy, funny horror games, if they're like the jump scares here and there, but usually it's just funny, silly stuff with friends, like Lethal Company,
yeah,
I'm so for it. But if it's like a serious horror game, I might not want to play that. I get very easily spooked, and it sits with me.
Oh, Yeah, that's it. Just when you get one that haunts you in the middle of the night when you're asleep, that's when you don't want to play for very long. At least I don't. I can't do horror games very much. Um,
They're too immersive. Like a horror movie is great. I love horror movies, but the
yeah,
games are too much.
yeah, yeah. If and I would want to do a game that has like the long con horror, not one that's jump scare every 5 seconds, and then I would be setting myself up for real disappointment or just having the X knocked out of me when it comes around.
Oh goodness.
I don't need that at this age. I need to keep all my X as much as possible. So, what
Fair, fair.
is there something that you haven't been able to do yet on stream that you'd really like to?
I would say doing a proper karaoke stream.
Mm.
I stream on Twitch, so karaoke streams are not really allowed, but I haven't done any kind of move over to YouTube
Mm-hmm.
because I enjoy the Twitch community
Right.
and I don't feel ready to quite do karaoke yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have been wanting to do some silly, like, I actually have done this, but like silly singing without a backing track
Yeah.
while I play Brawlhalla streams.
Yeah.
Because it's not as serious, so if I mess up, I don't feel as stressed. But actual karaoke streams where
But
you actually have to keep, like, practice with the music, I don't know. It's
oh,
scary.
so what about a cover song?
I haven't, funny enough, I haven't done a cover song yet, but I've done an original, which is a
Oh,
little silly. I think that's a little backwards.
yeah. Well, I mean that's not silly at all. That's perfectly fine. It's I couldn't. I've never had any confidence in my singing voice since I was 16. So and that was a long time ago. So I haven't done anything like that. But anybody who puts themselves out there and will put that up for other people to see, they've got a lot more courage than I do. So you're a very courageous person for that.
It's scary, but I will say I have done like guitar, like playing guitar while singing on stream.
Oh,
And the issue is I'm so anxious sometimes that I cannot breathe when I
mm,
put myself out there. And I'll have like I wouldn't call it quite a panic attack because I've had a history of panic attacks in the past. It's not quite the same, but it's
right.
like on the verge of one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been something that I've been wanting to do more, and a lot of my community will like sit with me while I do it,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be like, "Hey, it's okay, breathe." And then like I just like the fact that like the people around me are just really kind
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to feel like I can do it without the whole like breathing issue.
So you play guitar, huh?
I do play guitar, not well, but I play guitar.
Well, you'd be better than me. First of all, I'm badly switch-handed, so I wouldn't know which side to play it on, and I'm also drop things easily with both hands. So I call myself ambidextrous. I can drop things with either hand easily. Um, I wouldn't know.
Luxurious is funny.
I would not know the first thing about doing it, but uh, so you're way ahead of me. You're light years up on me as far as that goes. Um, Doing that and trying to sing at the same time would split my brain in half. So that's pretty amazing, and to do it with people that also takes a lot of confidence. Have you always had that kind of
Very
confidence?
scary. Definitely not. I had a like I said, I had that history of panic attacks in the past, and it's because like I would get anxious about everything. Like every social interaction that I felt didn't go 100% right in the past, it could lead to me having a panic attack. I would actually do it like it would happen in school a
Mm-hmm.
lot where I'd start panicking, I couldn't breathe, I wouldn't be able to talk. So I'd have to write a note to like a teacher and be like, "Hey, can I leave the room?"
Mm.
And it was a really frustrating experience. I felt like a lot of people did not know what was going on with me, but there were plenty of people who were kind regardless, which definitely helped.
Yeah. So was it something that was kind of accepted in your school? Because certainly back in the 70s when I was in school, it wouldn't have been accepted.
Oh goodness. I'm glad it was accepted. There were times I ran into like barriers where there just wouldn't be a place where I would feel comfortable to like stop the panic attack.
Yeah.
But most of the time there's somewhere I could go and the teachers are very kind and accommodating.
Hmm.
I feel like schools have definitely improved a lot when it comes to that matter, or at least the school I was at.
Oh yeah, I mean, you talked about a little bit about the autism first. Um, we had, I'm sure, in the '70s, we had plenty of people who had problems or had different ways to learn, and we didn't have that sort of. They weren't identified, and they weren't given the same type of opportunities that people are now, which is
Absolutely.
great for everybody now, but was really sucked for everybody then. uh,
It's
so
still difficult because you can still run into like barriers when it comes to education when you're autistic.
yeah,
I think. Oh no. Do you want to hear a funny story
yeah,
about me sassing off my principal?
yeah. Let's hear it.
Okay, this one's crazy. So I was on a 504 plan in school, and that's like it's a plan where they're like, oh hey, you have these things like going on. We can kind of like help you out if we make some changes in how we teach you.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a rule in my 504 where I didn't have to do like I didn't have to finish the homework. I
Mm-hmm.
just had to get like a good score on the quizzes. And it was on this math curriculum that was like mostly online, but you do it in class.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you do your homework and there's a quiz after every week's homework.
Okay.
So I still had to do like weekly work and I had to study and do the homework long enough to understand the quiz.
Right.
So I was still doing my homework.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that I didn't have to finish as much of it because I had a hard time completing assignments even when I understood it.
Right.
And I'd already been doing this for like let's say some months now. My teacher actually suggested the homework to or the like homework 504 accommodation to me. She thought it would really help me.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a meeting and the principal started questioning it and trying to take it away and he said, "Well, I don't know how you can I don't know how the teacher is supposed to like do this for you." And I shouldn't have said this. It's entirely inappropriate. I would not recommend doing it ever. But I said, well, why don't you ask so-and-so over there because she's been doing it for this amount of time. And I'll never do that again. But it was a moment.
Well, people got to understand you're probably extremely frustrated at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and here you've got a solution that's within reach, and one person is being a blockhead.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
That principal was still he was so cool in his own way. I was just being a stubborn kid and he was being a stubborn principal. That's what it was.
So you didn't get detention or anything, did you?
Actually, I did not get detention. I've only gotten detention for one thing, and it was a climate walkout.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean that's different. I mean that's a different type of detention. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like you were throwing erasers at their heads or anything like that. No.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I got plenty of detentions when I was a kid.
Oh, goodness.
Wasn't for doing anything bad. It was more like not doing homework.
They
Just
get okay. If they had those rules implemented when I was in school, I would be getting so many detentions. I struggled so much with homework.
yeah. Most of mine was in biology. I
Oh,
I hated biology.
oh no, I loved biology.
Oh, you could do my homework.
I could do your homework.
Yeah,
You want me to invent a time machine, go back
Yes,
in time, and do your homework for you?
yes, and here's the thing. It's a little funny story. I don't think I mentioned. We took the ACT, and the thing I got the best score in was biology,
Mm.
biological sciences, and I started getting all of these college things in the mail from these colleges, like a biotech college. I'm like, I don't want this. No. But it was like the word thing I was worst at. They kept sending me stuff for. Instead, I went into radio and made no money. So they were right.
Okay, but you have a great voice, so I think it pans out.
Well, I thank you for that. And for that, I'll do the rest of your homework for you. How about that?
I'm for it. I'm for it.
Won't say it's going to be right, but it'll be done. So overall, now that you've got started, now that you've got your goal coming up with the 3.0 coming eventually, are you totally pleased with where you're at as far as being a streamer is concerned?
I would say I'm mostly pleased. There's like one more thing that's irking me about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I will start streaming and I'll be like so into it, and then I'll just get a little nervous of like, oh, did I say something that made people kind of like, did I say something weird? And then I'll second doubt myself, and then I won't have as much energy the rest of the stream. It's been like this little tick of anxiety from my past that still won't quite go away yet.
Yeah, and that's the point of that's a part of being live. Like we're doing this on a recording right now, so if I wanted to say something, and it was wrong, I could go out and edit it if I wanted to. But when you're live, you're out there.
Yeah.
There's no net.
It's a lot harder.
Yeah, and
you can't take down a VOD though.
Yeah, you can do that. You can mess with that, and you can edit it if you want to mess with it that much. But I think that's going to come with confidence too, and that just may be something that you have to deal with. It's not the biggest major thing in the world, is it?
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it's and everybody feels that way. Did I say something really stupid there? I don't ask that anymore because it's usually yes. I just assume yes and just keep going because like what are they going to do? I'm an old man. But I tell you what, you are an absolute dream interview. I thank you so much for coming on. It's great to talk with you. I'm glad you're doing so well with it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I just I like interviews, but I always interrupt a little, which makes me nervous because I'm like, oh no, I keep interrupting.
No, that's fine because you know what? The guest is the star, not the interviewer.
That's fair. That's fair. I also, I would like to see you as I kind of see you as a star in a way of your interview. Like you have stars on, but you have your own personality and charm that kind of just wraps it all together.
Oh well, thank you very much. My head just grew 3 sizes. Thank you very much. If it wasn't a pumpkin head, it certainly is now.
Oh no.
I'm glad that you're enjoying yourself, and I'm glad that you're comfortable and you're wanting to keep going. You found something. We talked a little bit. You kind of found something now that you can latch onto and make it yours and enjoy yourself while doing it.
Absolutely. That's a great way to put it. I feel like VTubing ties a lot of my interests together, so I can kind of just do it all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to do that in other spaces of the internet. You kind of have to specialize and do very particular things.
Yeah.
But you can just be a VTuber and do a lot of things that are kind of loosely related sometimes.
Well, folks, you got to check out and see what Edna's got going on. We're going to have the links in the description for the interview. And once you get that 3.0 out there, which is going to happen in the future, so everybody watch. No date coming up, no spoilers. We'll have you back on, and we'll talk more about what's going on with you because you're really something. I'm glad to say that now that I've been able to meet you and talk to you online.
I don't know what to say. I'm really honored.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.